Hi, Mr. Woodson. How are you?
Hello, Mrs. Tina. How are you?
Welcome to Beauty in the Spirit. I'm Miss Tina.
And I am Joseph, and thank you for joining us tonight. You look absolutely beautiful in this yellow. I didn't know that we were both be wearing yellow today. It's crazy.
Listen, like minds think alike. I love it. You look so dapper. Isn't
Thank
that
you.
something?
And I have to personally thank you for this hat that you sent me. It arrived on Wednesday, and I had to wear it today for our Friday night show. So thank you, Mrs. Tina.
Wow, you are so welcome. Well, this is what we do at the
Yes.
Spin YouTube channel.
Mm.
We love talk, fitness, empowerment, and we love. That's the greatest gift that God has given us, love. And guess what? In a world full of hate right now, henceforth our topic, in a world full of the cancel generation,
Mm.
resisting the masses. That's what our discussion and topic will be for this episodic Beauty in the Spirit this day.
Yes.
Yes. So, Mr. Joseph,
Yes.
talk about some of the things you've been doing this week before we get to the juice of it.
Well, the whole verses thing has gotten me listening to old school records. And so today I was listening to a little bit of Jill Scott. She's like a wonderful poet. And just this whole week, I'm getting excited about the election. I tried some new tea, this Tivana here.
Oh,
It's very, very delicious. I'm going to have to send you some. I will mail some to you. And I've just been focusing on the brightness of the future we have ahead of us.
yes, yes.
Change is going to come.
That's right. I believe it. I believe it. And there's times and moments when we just don't know what our inspiration, where can we draw inspiration as we speak all the time? How can we stay alive? How can we stay motivated? How can we stay productive? And I
Mhm.
think the main key to that is just staying alive in the spirit of being alive.
Yes, yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Meaning that you didn't have to be here today. And people hear this all the time. They go, we hear these things all the time. Oh, life is life. Oh, preach on. Oh, tell it, sis. All those things. But outside of the cynicalism of all of that, it's
Mhm.
really a truth that you have to enhance your life skills by being positive and just simply being grateful.
Mhm. Yes, I agree because tomorrow's not promised. We are here, we are breathing, we are alive. We have so many things to be thankful for. And I think everyone just needs to realize that and know that you have a purpose. We all have a purpose and to not give up. This too shall pass. It always passes.
Absolutely. This too shall pass, honey. And in speaking of things that should be passing, what I want to give you for this Friday, by the way,
Yes.
we have some things that we need to do on Friday. Our
Mm,
show usually started at 7. But
mm,
I feel because we are the producers, we can do whatever we want to
exactly. Yes. That's the beauty of it all.
the beauty of it all. That's the
Mm,
beauty of the power of skin over 2 decades, is that we never beat to the drum of the masses, the
yes.
drum of those who told us that they were in control of what we need to do,
Mhm.
control of our creativity, control of our body of work, control of our composition, control of our thoughts. And
Yeah.
everyone is not really into that execution of right and that execution of independence, because what this has taught us is that this generation, they
Mhm.
are starting to have stronger minds, they're having stronger sense of self, and that's one of the things I admire about this generation. What are your thoughts, Mr. Joseph?
I think this is the first time this generation has really had to put up a fight. I feel like this generation, everything has been handed to them as far as technology and social media. And this has been the first time that they've had to stop and say, wait, we actually may have to fight for something. We may actually have to fight for change. Like all those people during the civil rights movement, they had to make sacrifices and like really put themselves on the front line. And I think right now we're seeing this new generation being inspired by the older generation, but also setting forth on their own new path, which is great and inspiring. And I know that we have a bright future ahead because they're not going to give up. And I love it.
No, they're not. And they're very tenacious and they're very strong and real. The
Yeah.
only difference that I recognize is that as I said, and we will be getting into the topic of discussion really thorough
Right.
about the generation of cancellation. Now,
Hmm.
I do know that our ancestors and our forefathers, especially our, incoming families and our grandparents and ancestry, they taught, at least on my side, I was always taught the gift of compassion, as you mentioned last show, the gift of empathy. And I remember as a young girl, my grandmother would always say, even with her neighbor that didn't cook usually on a holiday, she would say, she would make a whole nother turkey or a ham and say, take this over to her. And sometimes I would just watch, like, wow. And she would tell my aunt and my family, send this over to the house next door because I know she probably didn't have time to cook, or I know that the kids are hungry. And I would look at that as a young girl and say, wow, my grandmother took her time from her family to make another family something that they should have over the holidays. And saying all of that is that I just really wanted to address this generation of cancellation, meaning that we will go into the depth of what it entails,
Hmm.
why it's entailing what it's entailing, and who's offering the opinions and who's doctrining those behaviors and those movements. But before that, I just want to take it to the sense of you really need to understand everyone is worthy of forgiveness. Everyone is worthy of getting a second chance. Everyone is worthy. It tells you in the Bible too. Judge and thou shalt be judged. And I really live firmly on that, Mr. Joseph. I don't know about you, but could you tell me about what are your feelings about judgmentation in today's world?
I mean, I think what you said, forgiveness is key, and it's very hard for people to forgive. And I mean, let's be honest, we have all made mistakes, and we will continue to make mistakes in this lifetime. Sometimes we hurt people unintentionally, but I also feel that people should not be judged by things that they have done during their teenage years or during their early 20s. I mean, people, we all change, we all grow. I think it's horrible that someone makes a mistake as a teenager, gets locked up, gets out of jail, and then is not able to vote, and the rest of their entire life is impacted by one mistake that they made as a young man or young woman. So I think we need to look at it from like a law point of view as well, and just like a humanity point of view. We all deserve to be forgiven.
Yes, we
Yeah.
do. And if you could you imagine the times that you have back when you're 18 and in your teens, the things that you thought, the things you said and maybe have done that you said, oh, I did that, or
Yes.
my views were that. Honey,
Mhm.
could you imagine if somebody just keep coming for everyone's sins and everyone's transgressions and everyone's judgmentation? And trust me, I'm not separate from it. I have things I have judgmentation on. We are all guilty of being judgmental, opinionated, one-sided, but
Yeah.
that's not a trait of mine. Usually I'm either hot or cold. Okay. With me, either I like you or I don't.
Right. You're direct. You're direct. I love it.
And at right, if ands or buts, okay. And if
Mhm.
I have to deal with you, it will be cordiality, okay, because I am the consummate professional. I will never take my standards to a level or have someone force me to go to a level that is not of my likeness and where God has my destination. So that comes in with self control, but all we're saying is that hey, in this cancel generation, what are the thoughts of, even though they have strength this generation, what are the thoughts, what are the processes? Do you really think this cancel generation started before the pandemic? What are your thoughts?
I think it started way before the pandemic. I think people have used social media as a way to out people, to get back at people, just to, it's been a blessing and a curse. It's been a blessing in the sense that we're all able to be more connected with one another, even though we're far apart. But at the same time, someone can make an allegation online or accuse someone of something online, and they may have like 100,000 followers. and those followers may believe that allegation to be true before there's even any evidence. So I don't know. I'm back and forth with it because I feel like people can lie, but then at the same time, we've been able to see people exposed for things that they have done. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. But to contribute to that questioning that I had for our show and for you was that, and myself, is that I really believe everything you said. I agree with it.
mhm,
But I do have a thought of there was a time where I really hold social media responsible for the trailings of people being concise and just putting things out there. I really think there needs to be a standard. I keep telling you, I am for freedom, honey. I am for freedom for the gods,
yeah,
okay? Yes, okay, and equality. But there is a point, like for instance, as teachers or as a choreographers and artists,
mhm.
the worst thing you can do to an artist is take away their what?
Their right to create.
And what is their right to create? Where does it come from?
It's God given. It's they're born with that. That's not something that man can tell them to do or not do.
Exactly. So if someone stepped in and they said, you know what, you cannot create like that. You cannot do that because my opinions on the way you create is despicable. It's distasteful. I don't. It infringes on my beliefs. We don't like it. It bothers us, and you should be cast away. You should not be allowed to create. I would really be curious how people would feel. So where
Mhm.
I'm going with this, how they're fighting for the powers of wearing a mask. You see now they're saying they'll have people in the street, certain sets of people in the street saying, no, if you take away the power for us to gather without masks and not have the right to wear masks or not wear masks, then you're infringing on us. But I have a word for you. Don't forget, you are in society, meaning that after you gather and you have your meetings, religious meetings, and anything that you gather, in activities, you are in something called the world. You are going to the stores, you are walking the streets, and you are intermingling in society, which means if you are affected within your gathering and in your religious sect or in your group of people, you eventually come out of that group. And what you're doing is you're infringing on my right because we might be in a place where we're breathing the same air and you might be infringing on my health. So
Mhm.
therefore, it doesn't become a right. It's not a right solely for you anymore. It's a humanistic right. It's a
Mhm.
right of humanity for us to be able to live safely. So therefore, I believe there's some things that are factual, and though some things are have to do with the human aspect of it, but I
Mhm.
really believe a lot of this is from opinionated standpoints
Mhm.
that really group together and say, hey, we're just going to take these people out, or this person or this sect of people out, for the reasons being that we just get a kick out of seeing how far our powers can go.
Mhm. No, I mean, like you said, we don't live on isolated islands, especially here in New York City. We all travel to different boroughs, different communities. So it's very important that we all protect each other. At the end of the day, it's not taking away anyone's freedom or their religious freedom. It's about us stopping this spread. And I think because COVID-19 is kind of like this invisible thing that people don't really see the effects of it, and then some people can get it and be okay, and then others, have more detrimental outcomes. I think people are not taking it as serious as maybe they would if it was like a disease that you could see on somebody
Yeah,
immediately, and then within 3 days you could see what would happen to them. I think people take it
absolutely.
more serious.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you anymore, Mr. Joseph. So
Mhm.
on that note, before we delve into the further the conversation on this cancel generation, rethinking the masses, let's
Yeah.
take a look at what cancellation actually is.
So, wokeness is a term that a lot of people don't really understand. But in my understanding of it, I would say wokeness is a slang term for social awareness. You can be woke about anything: race, gender, sexuality, veganism, climate change. Every issue gaining mainstream prominence can consider you woke. Strangely, people tend to associate woke ideas with the left. The word may have gained mainstream popularity with progressive politics, but wokeness does exist on the right too. Try mentioning the words diversity or social justice or immigration, and the right can easily get just as triggered. Woke is simply the belief in anything that you think is correct and progressive. The rise of Twitter, Facebook statusing, and Instagram activists has given us all a public voice. In theory, this is fantastic, but in practice, it leads to complications. A place to express our frustrations, disillusion with the system, and anger is not only necessary, but it can be cathartic. Unfortunately, we haven't recognized the power in having a portable encyclopedia inside our pockets. Having a world of information at our fingertips is nothing short of a revolution, but it does create some anger. Anger, especially for women and non-white people, is stigmatized as violence, unfeminine, and a threat, instead of a normal response to abuse. Our collective anger has sparked international discourse and necessary movements such as the Me Too campaign and Black Lives Matter. However, discussing anything topical online can be hard at best and draining at worst. Being woke is fundamentally useful, but what we do with our newfound awareness can often be misguided in the long term. We turn on each other for not being up to date. We take ideas we deem negative to be indicators of someone's entire character. Civil rights activist and novelist James Baldwin once said, "I love America more than any other country in this world, and it's exactly for this reason I insist on criticizing her perpetually." I share Baldwin's sentiment. Therefore, the ways in which we approach these topics also deserve critique. Taking a good look around, it's tempting to become pessimistic, but I believe in the idea that working towards a balanced society is achievable. But we can only do this by practicing compassion instead of pointing fingers. There is a place for outrage, anger, and resentment, but if we aim to tackle issues from the branches instead of the root, we find ourselves entangled. This makes it imperative to divorce our pain from our reasoning for the sake of clarity and unity. The unnecessary oppression in the world causes a visceral reaction to anybody with their eyes open. And I'm sure we're all in agreement that the current climate online is a verbal landmine.
Yes.
Yes. Being woke. Woke. And being woke also comes with power, like she was saying about social media. You have this platform. Everyday normal people have this platform where they can speak about different issues. And I think we all need to be very mindful of how we use that power. Like, power can be corrupted, especially if you allow your ego and self-righteous beliefs and behaviors to influence what you write and how you portray yourself online. But I agree with her. You can say one thing and that one thing can, have a ripple effect and affect your career, affect your personal life. What are your thoughts, Mrs. Tina?
Well, just to elaborate on your thoughts, because I'm listening, I'm listening to you and it's going in. I'm internalizing it as
Yes.
well. I agree.
Mhm.
Because I do find what I find to be very interesting is that a lot of those platforms that people become so aggravated and so judgmental on, if we were in a world that wasn't so virtual, I always have in my head, I wish you could see half of the judgmental people that, like they say, sit behind those computers and write those malicious things. If we didn't have this virtual platform, this social media platform, could you imagine if half of the people that said the most evil things or done the most evil things and judgmental things, who they were and how they looked?
Yes, we call them internet trolls.
They call them trolls, honey, trolls. And if you put all the trolls in a box, I would be curious how the troll box would look, okay? And how it would be adorned. So what I'm saying is that, they can, like a lot of artists and a lot of people know, they can hide behind these keys and they can hide behind the substrates of social media platforms. But in reality, there has to be a point of, I believe, where they sit back and they watch the implosion of many people who they see who were great ones. And I think a lot of people who have low self-esteem or they just have anger and jealous reasons or and jealous basis on a lot of people, they just want to see someone who is well grounded, is of high self-esteem or high esteem tank. I really believe there are a group of people that exist like that. Now, when you get to things of serious civil discourse and fellonistic properties and injustices and laws being broken, that's a whole nother thing. You want
Yes.
to hold people accountable for their treasons and for their trespasses in society. Now, I agree with that. But I also believe that in the past, you locked them up and you did what you had to do and let the judicial system handle that, which we have to reevaluate. And we know what we're in right now. But you never kept prolonging it. You know, it's like now this cancel generation and like she said, this woke generation, they
Mhm.
keep it's like they love to
Try for what they've
drag
done, but
things.
who are you to be the judge, the jury, and all of that, the executioner? Like, it's like we all have done things, we all deserve forgiveness. And I think just putting all the negativity out in the universe is it's not helping the situation. You know, there's a lot of people out there that need some help. And I just feel that once you write those things down and put them on the internet, they're there forever. And those very words that you use to try to discredit someone can circle back to you in the future. I mean, there's been examples of people saying things and, you know, they tried to get a job and it's like, hey, this came up. What was this about? You know, so I just think you have to be wise and, like you said, use discretion. If it,
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, discretion is something I believe, Mr. Joseph, that comes from wisdom.
Mhm,
I believe at any age, you can, even a child has a level of discretion.
mhm,
I really believe that. But at certain ages, or when you reach a certain area of wisdom, you
mhm.
start to use your discretion differently.
Yes.
Meaning, I can say that, but should I say
Right.
that? I
And it,
can say that, but where should I say that? And
mhm,
to whom should I say that? So a lot of times we have this generation going, I'm going to tell that person. I'm going to tell her. I'm going to tell, let her, let me. Listen,
yeah.
if you fall prey to those vices of your carnal being and that simplicity, notice I said simplicity because life is so more like she said. I love the word she said in the footage, complex.
Mhm,
It's a very life is a complexity. The issues at hand may be of complexity. So yes, she said right in between, I believe a lot of life occurs in the gray. And
mhm.
a lot of times the truth occurs in the gray. So what I would say to people in this cancellation generation is start asking the person that you're putting on the stake or like martyring. Ask the person that is allowing you to contribute to the downfall of them. Ask them, what did you do to help that person? What did you do to contribute to making them a better person?
Mhm.
What did you do in your life that was worse than what they did that just nobody knows about?
You know, they may not answer that question, Miss Tina.
I'm not going to answer that question because I just find it's amazing how people are pulling people down. And I say to myself, wow, it's amazing because I'll leave it for my book. It's amazing because I know for a fact with my eyeballs, I see some things that were carried out that you did was very similar to that person that you're incriminating.
Mhm. Wow.
I've seen and heard some things that you did were much worse. So the only thing I have to go on is my eyes because I'm not a follower, I'm a leader. So
Mhm.
I and I'm very I usually judge someone when I have collected a lot of substantial evidence saying, okay, now the jig is up. You know, this deserves some type
Mhm.
of justification, but I'm not going to give you the final judgment because the final judgment doesn't belong to me. And
Mhm.
that's the point of this show. And the point of the great footage that we use with DTN is this that you are not in control of the final judgment of anyone.
Anyone.
You are in control of your right of freedom of speech. You are controlling your right of opinion, and you are and your right to be on the earth and mankind and humanity contributing towards the force of correctness. But you are not the last word in judgmentation on this earth. You have no right to say that somebody who has messed up, and even if they've messed up miserably, think about the things that you might consider, that wasn't that bad, that you don't know the effects on another person, that you haven't seen the effects, what you have done to a person. You haven't seen the effects of what you've done, and we're all accountable.
We are.
About it. Say if I ever said to a person, I've never done this, but if I've said to a person, you're obese, you're fat, especially in the heyday when I was Miss Fitness Lady.
You still are.
Well, listen, iconic, but the children try me, and the children try, but they know. Okay, shout out to all my fitness family. They know, but we're past that because the discernment and the wisdom does not allow that to validate me, because what I've done has validated itself. I don't have to prove what you've done to me and Mr. Woodson and the people who have helped you, and just in general in life. What you've done, like I said before, you are going to be held accountable for it. You can lie to the day you leave the earth, but eventually, I say all the time, you're going to have to sit with yourself and and say, what I've done to Miss Tina behind the scenes, honey, I'm going to have to pay for that.
Yeah, the guilt will eat away at them.
Eat that, right? How maybe have helped your family, help your children, help you get friends, help you get an identity, child. Lord,
Girl hair, all of it, right?
help you get some training. Share my world, share my beautiful friends and the dancers. And I see a lot of our friends now, Mr. Joseph, who are doing social platforms, and they getting their shows now. I guess we're inspiring them, and that's good, okay?
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I know my friends, a lot of them, and our comrades and our associates in the industry. They are wonderful people. They are beautiful people. A lot of them are really beautiful people. And the thing is that you're not going to allow people to infiltrate on the beauty that you've given to them and they've given to you. You have to understand, hey, wait, let me take back on my judgment of this person, because when I was going back, if I go back to the things done in my life and what the people did for me when I didn't have nothing or nobody was even checking for me, you can't completely. There are things in my present, Mr. Woodson. That's why this cancer generation was such a good topic, as I told you. It's because there are things, Mr. Woodson, that I don't want to forget. Are they part of who I'm shaped as now? No, I'm a different person. I've evolved, honey. Fabulous.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not that person. I'm not that person. If you're smart or you've had blessings, you should have evolved. Let me say this one more time and move up close. You should evolve if you are blessed.
Yes.
You should not be in the same place. But I think if you evade where you come from and you choose to forget the people who might have given you a graham cracker when you were starving, I'm just saying, at least you could say, hey, let me still pay tribute to those things that once served me.
That shaped
I
me.
know someone who I am. I will never stop paying tribute to the things that once served me, and forget the people that, even if you're a celebrity now, I had two celebrities said to me in the past, happy birthday, Tina. And I said, okay, that's nice. But at the end of the day, you're a celebrity. And the only difference between me and you is you have money because I'm cuter. Okay, listen. I'm just saying this is that, no, I'm just saying, okay, right. So where I'm going is a lot of people, that's their path, but they know that if you had the same opportunity, what sometimes threatens them is that if I got an opportunity, if she had the opportunity that I had, oh my God. So a lot of times in this generation, they like to block. And I believe that's another attribute of the cancer generation. It's a blocking. As when I read, it says to bring to nothingness, to destroy. And if you think about it, if you destroy your competition, then for me, I like it when I have healthy competition. I don't think that you're good if you destroy all the competition around you, because what happens is you know what you've done behind the scenes. So the only person you're really left with competing with is yourself. And for me, that's not fun. That really is not the test of your ability as a competitor. Is if you let me drop some confetti before her routine. Maybe the show will stop and it'll take attention off of her. Maybe let me block her submission to this arts grant. Let me take her file and maybe put it in the back with all the other submissions so that they don't see. You know what? That stuff catches up with you. That stuff catches up with you when you try to block another man's artistry and you try to block the gift that God gave them. And me personally, Mr. Wilson, I know I went to the left. It's the
No,
market. Hold on for a second. I'll get you some more. I'm almost done. I've never been the type of person to block somebody's artistry.
no, no.
Never. Most of my career, I've given and given and given. And now we've evolved into this Beauty in the Spirit podcast. Which
Yes.
I believe, honey, out there, they're going to pick me up, honey. I will be in the masses, honey. I will
Yeah.
be on the big screen, right along with the rest of my friends. Okay.
Yes,
That
you will.
went to the top institutions and the top places. And then you cannot stop me. And you won't stop me. And you will see a piece of me. And that being said, go ahead, Mr. Joseph.
You know what? I don't even know if I can follow all of that. You are amazing, and you will be there. You will be there, and it's like, and you will not be canceled. How about that? You will not be canceled, and you will not be blocked.
And you will not either, because you are just a beautiful soul. You know, you are such an eloquent man, like Jeffrey Holder and
Well,
Al and the greats. You know, not many people can be great. And that's why I'm glad we have this show today, because a lot of people try to block.
mhm. They've tried.
They try to block greatness, but you know what? There's a path that you hold that, like I said, is trademarked by the Creator. You
Mhm,
are trademarked by the Creator, and there's nothing that a man can do to
mhm.
tarnish who you are, what you are, and what God has for you. And on that note, those are my final statements for this show.
Yes.
Do you have any statements?
Well, I do, but before I say them, I want to tell you that I love this peacock necklace that you have and the peacock fan. Where did you get this necklace? I know this is off topic, but I want to just like bring it up before we end.
Do you see the peacock earrings?
And the earrings, I see all of it, and the feathers in the background.
Well, listen, you know there's always feathers floating in the background with me. Okay, you know. Pink lemonade and feathers.
Yes, pink
Okay.
lemonade.
Yes, pink lemonade and feathers for Miss Thompson, please. If
Yes.
you really want to be on team Miss Tina, have that pink lemonade and have something of fabulosity that is feathered. And you will know I'm in the building, okay?
Yes.
And the Skin family is in the building. Skin,
Yes.
actually, Mr. Woodson, we released our multimedia company this week or last week.
Yes.
We
Yes. Yes.
released it, so we have to do another show on that Skin multimedia. Isn't that amazing? And you are one of the creative directors over there.
I'm excited. As you know, I have a little bit of a background in film. So we're going to be doing some exciting projects with dance and with film. So I'm really looking forward to it. And I think it's an exciting new venture we're starting.
Wow, I'm excited. I'm looking forward even more to working with you under another umbrella of your expertise. You are a man of many gifts, and
Thank
I'm
you
looking
very
forward
much.
to the world seeing that. I keep telling you, you got people doing media and social film and all of this stuff, and you know what? I'm not one that does that, but listen, they don't have uh, the experience that you have. And we have a comment here, Joyce. Yes, both of you will be there. Yes, you know what?
Joey.
Thank you so much, Joyce. We love all of the comments we get from our beautiful family, social media family, and friends out there. And we wish you blessings as well. And there's nothing that can stop you if you stay on the course and the path and be diligent and tenacious and focused on the gift that God gave you.
Yes.
Nothing.
All I can say is may all the doors open, the doors of opportunity, the doors of just abundance. Could you
And
just
when you get people that say, you better back up, because let me tell you, if you went and did research, you would gag on some of the things that you are incriminating people for that you have done that are much worse. And you
Mhm.
have to be held accountable for the things you judge people. Listen, I am not saying that you can't stop dealing with people, let people go, move on. I'm one for that. I'm an advocate of evolution. I even created a piece called Evolution. Like, you have to evolve.
Yeah.
Sometimes you outgrow people. Sometimes you outgrow people so much to the fact that they just think that they've outgrown you. Can you catch that?
Yeah. But you've already outgrown them. Like it's already been cut. Like and
It's
they
already been cut, and you have been allowing those people to be in consume your.
linger.
You have been allowing those people to link onto you, but they get to a point where they're like, I make that person. You
Yeah.
have right, and you're thinking, no, I'm holding on to you. I should have then cut you off because you have not allowed me to evolve. So that's what calls something called maturity. And
Mm-hmm.
when you have an older person, I have to say that before we conclude.
Mm-hmm.
What gets me, Mr. Wizard, about the cancer generation is this. You have people of certain ages that are partaking in the foolery
Mm.
of this generational excess on social media of dragging and canceling and
Yes.
trolling. You have people, and I'm going to go there, over 40 that are contributing to the conversations of 23 and 28-year-olds, if
Mm-hmm.
not 17 and 18-year-old TikTokers, and allowing children to be a part of their menace to society.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you, no matter how grown they look, what schools they went to, that lets you know that something mentally is not right. Because of a woman of a certain age, especially as educators, I'm going to let a student of mine or a friend of mine that's a young lady or young man, I'm going to say, come here, Miss Tina, come here, let me speak to you, baby. You're wrong for doing that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling you what to do, but you need to reassess that. That's disrespectful. But that code of silence, that is why I believe our generation has been allowed to get away with their TikTokishness. That's a new word.
TikTokishness. I love it. The lack of self-control. Just put anything that you're feeling on social media.
TikTokishness.
TikTokishness. No, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's like a lack of self-control, and it's like, let me just put it out there, and I don't
Right.
care how it affects anyone. No.
Exactly. And for me, I'm not just putting out there, I'm putting it in my book because I need to be paid for it.
Yeah.
Ah!
Exactly.
And that,
Nothing for free.
yeah, yes, not for free, not for free. And it's going to be done in a very, 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 very classy manner,
Yeah.
not manner.
Mentor. Yes.
Her. So we are over the TikTokishness.
Yes. No more. And dragging folks, it's like, let's just be better. Let's be more empathetic. Let's be
That's
better and do better.
I like that, Mr.
Yeah.
Joseph. On that really note, let's be better. But before we end our show today, I want everyone to know that we have our subscribe button below. We would love for you to become a member to our YouTube channel, Skin Dance Company YouTube channel, Skin Multimedia. And we will be updating our websites as we go into our new venture of a film and a docu-film that we are working on for 2021. You can see our GoFundMe information online at www.skindancecompany.com, or you can go to the GoFundMe site and put in Skin Multimedia or Skin Dance Company or Dance in the New World. And it will come up, and we would love the contributions that you give us to contribute to our statement to the world on art
Yes.
and humanity. Because this film will be iconic. And it
Yes.
will be very different. I don't want to give them too much because my creative director is sitting right here, and I know he has a lot of stuff in the pot. So if you're interested in being a part of that docu-film, you can email us at skindancecompany@gmail.com. And we're going to just put up our apparel that we have online, Beauty in the Spirit. We have t-shirts, we have mugs. As you can see, our mugs are here. Yes.
I love it. I love it. Beauty in the spirit.
Yes, we have Beauty in the Spirit mugs. We have Beauty in the Spirit Create Small Caps available on www.skindancecompany.com, as well as all of the available websites that we have attached to our Beauty and Spirit podcast page, which we were asked to create because we have a lot of different sponsors that we will be working with for 2021 and at the end of 2020. So, do you have any final words to say for our partners and friends?
Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening to us. If you have any topics that you feel will be of interest that you would like us to discuss, Please email us at skindancecompany@gmail.com as well. I think this is a wonderful segment. I cannot wait to the next segment that we're going to do. And as always, stay beautiful, stay humble, stay blessed, and let's do better.
And stay lit and yellow.
Yes.